key element that I always found extremely powerful, but also works very well with the clients, and also is something which is close to my philosophy, that the insurance industry is an enabler in society, is not one industry of an economical environment. It's basically a basis where all the other industries and segments are growing and building upon. It creates security for client, individual client, it creates security for corporation and finances. Insurers should not be restricted to only insuring, and they're not. The most successful insurance companies provide also additional services to their clients, and this is how they can become meaningful. So those services can be, for instance, I remember car insurance in the US. They had contracted all those garages and support providers who were repairing cars when there was a breakdown or an accident. And one of their campaign was like, don't worry, wherever you are, whichever issue you have on the road, whether it's an accident or a breakdown, we'll be there in 20 minutes if you're insured with us. And it's something that was extremely powerful. And it was powerful on two levels. The first one was for the recruitment of new clients. And when they were like, okay, that's a safety net, don't worry. When the agent was selling the contract, it was like, we'll be there in 20 minutes. So it's a strong argument. But it's not the strongest. The strongest was when there was an accident, there were two cars. One car from this insurance company and a car from another insurance company. And guess who was there first? This insurance company, who promised to be there 20 minutes latest after the accident happened. And the image and the impact it gave to the other non-insured with that company client was extremely powerful. So they saw an inflow of clients. Of course, competition caught up and it was something that was different. But the message here is that it's so important to have a service next to the insurance contract. We've seen a lot in health insurance about prevention or information about sickness. There is some initiatives that are actually quite difficult to execute and need a long time. But clients need to have, or like to have, all their information onto one single location. So an insurance group I was working for was developing an app that was open for other companies as well. So a client could have his information, health information within that environment, but not only the one from the insurance company, but also whatever information was coming from outside the external provider, providing therefore an environment, safe environment for the client. So there, it's not only about making sure that the client has something within the scope of one coverage, but has a vision for society and how society should evolve. And that was very appealing to clients. So these are elements of service that are extremely powerful. And if an insurance company builds its value chain foreseeing those elements, it is very powerful. It adds element of success to the insurance company. What I'm saying is that if you build service as part of your long-term plan, let's take health, because it's something that is much talked about and also very emotional for clients. But if you take health, a lot of prevention, and if you build prevention as part of your value chain, then what you will get is also the type of client that will be covered. So your segmentation will be influenced by, and client selection will be influenced by the type of prevention that you have. Therefore, your pricing could be adapted. Now we say simply prevention is great. So do more sport or do eat better and those kind of things. It's very good, but doing more sport could also create more injury, for instance, because instead of being at home and not doing anything and be in an injury-free environment, you could be going and jogging in the forest and you can trip because it's raining and you will have a sprained ankle or something. So it's not only about reducing costs, it's about making sure that once you understand what you're doing by creating these prevention surrounding services, linking with other companies, etc., you also have all those integrated in the pricing and claim management, so that when it happens, you also are there for your client. So it's about creating consistency in a long cycle of a relationship with a client. We just highlighted some elements of being an enabler and including services within a relationship client to insurer. Of course, we shouldn't forget the distribution element, but also I don't want to forget that there are also corporations that are investing in the health of their employees and their families, and therefore are also part of the ecosystem. Those corporations, they of course need a different way of interaction. These interaction and services should be two-sided. The first one should be driven towards the employees in a non-compulsory way, let's say. It should be open and invitational, something that's appealing to client, but also it should be something that could offering the possibility for a HR department or the financial department to create action. So it's something that could be integrated in the HR philosophy, HR support that is being given towards the employees, and internal communication towards the financial services, because what they want is, of course, that there are some return on investment. If we pay a bit of money for prevention, then maybe we could have a bit of relief on the premium, or that it's communicated properly towards the whole client employee basis, so that there's recognition for the work and investment done by an employer. So in all, based on my experience, servicing is an element of the insurance industry. There's a huge ecosystem of InsurTech or adjacent InsurTech that can provide amazingly well-thought services. Insurers do not have, even the biggest one, the ability to invest and create all the services. So linking or buying InsurTech is something which we've seen happening. The most active are the ones that are going to position themselves in the best way as part of the insurance world. I'm sure as well part of this InsurTech will grow and become insurance companies at some point. I'm very eager to see what the future will give as a strategic evolution and what newcomers are going to be there. But what is certain is that to survive and to be meaningful, especially in today's digital and AI world, an insurance company needs to be able to provide services with the risk of just being a back office and risk carrier, but then made as a commodity part of the value chain, as opposed to be a meaningful and significant driving society actor that create value for shareholders and their clients.